Shuffle. I did not.
Oh my God, she's getting closer. I think she's outside. Ah! Get out of here. Mom, Ashley's in my room.
Ashley, leave me alone.
But why? He started it. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of New Script on the Block, and more specifically, Before the Scene. Today we are going to be reading You're Next. But before that, if you like listening to interviews with independent filmmakers, hearing unique indie film scripts, or catching a glimpse into how big blockbuster scripts are written, you can catch more screenwriting info here every week by subscribing to SoundCloud, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Be sure to leave us a review on all those platforms or comment on those platforms, and just let us know what you like listening to and what you want to hear more of. And with that, we will dive right in. Is everyone ready?
Yes.
Yes.
What are we reading today, Ashley?
We're reading You're Next.
Okay, I don't know if you said that, but...
She did.
Okay.
You were not listening to her.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
Graham.
Graham.
I know.
That's how you know we're a dysfunctional family. Okay,
Do us
anyway.
listen to her.
All right.
All right, cool.
I'm going to hop into it if you guys are good to go. We're on page 25. We're right in the middle at Interior Davidson Mansion, Front Room Evening.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to dive in. The entire family, Paul, Aubrey, Crispin, Drake, Kelly, Amy, and Felix, and their guests, Aaron, Tariq, and Z, sit crammed around a large dining table. The table is packed with food. A large window faces the front yard.
Everything looks great, Mom.
Aubrey beams. Yes, it does. So let's get started. Paul bows his head. That's as national as I get.
Sorry. Sorry.
Paul bows his head. Aubrey, Amy, Drake, and Kelly immediately follow suit. Tariq looks around, then does the same. Crispin, Aaron, Felix, and Z keep their heads upright. Felix and Crispin exchange a look. Crispin grimaces. Felix rolls his eyes. Paul speaks quickly. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for this food. Feed our souls on the bread of life and help us to do our part in kind words and loving deeds. Amen. Everyone raises their head. Paul stands and begins serving out food. He turns to Z, who is seated next to him. Z, would you prefer white or dark meat? I'm vegan. You are.
You are?
Oh, that's
What?
you.
Stop reading for a second.
I'm going to play all the characters. This is my time.
All right. You are? Felix, you never told me that.
I didn't?
Meanwhile, Drake and Tariq are engaged in conversation.
So, Tariq, what do you do?
Oh, I'm a filmmaker.
Oh, anything I've seen?
There's a series not far from here, the Cleveland Underground Film Festival. Did you go to that?
No, I guess I must have missed it.
Oh, I had a short film there last year.
Ah, have you ever thought about directing commercials?
Amy and Tariq speak simultaneously.
I haven't
He
really...
doesn't want to direct commercials, Drake.
Okay, then.
Before Tariq can continue, Drake turns away.
Aaron?
Aaron looks up, having not been paying attention.
Yeah?
How about you? Are you still in school?
Yeah, this is my last year. I'm finishing my master's.
Tariq, distracted, frowns at something outside the window. Drake gestures to Crispin.
And are you two still working together? No, Aaron is no longer my TA. We didn't think it was appropriate.
That was beautiful, thank you. Aaron and Crispin exchange a smile.
Yeah, probably not too professional.
Crispin turns and sits down his fork. Tariq is still staring outside.
What's that supposed to mean? What? Probably not too professional. Something on your mind? No, I mean, you said it wasn't appropriate. I agreed with you. I don't think you're in a position to be judging my moral decisions.
Can we
Now,
have a dinner
boy.
without you two arguing?
Felix takes a drink of wine. Ignored by everyone, Tariq rises and moves over to the window.
I'm not going to raise the debate on that. I was just agreeing with you. That's all. Okay, fine. Let's drop it. Fine.
Hey, what is that guy doing?
Everyone looks over at Tariq, who's standing in front of the window. At the exact moment, a short crossbow arrow smashes through the glass pane of the window and hits Tariq square in the forehead. Amy gasps. Tariq takes a step back, then turns to face the family. There's an arrow sticking out of his head. Blood is flowing down his face. Everyone is silent, in shock. Tariq, his eyes looking upwards, reaches up tentatively to touch the arrow that's protruding from his forehead. His fingers almost reach it. Then he pitches forward. As Tariq drops, the arrow in his head hits the edge of the kitchen table, diving in further into his brain. Beneath the dining room table, Tariq's face impacts the floor, jamming the point of the arrow out through the back of his skull. Everyone stares at Tariq's corpse. Felix is the first to move.
Holy fuck!
Felix leaps out of his seat as another arrow crashes through the window and embeds itself in the back of Paul's chair with a thunk. Yelling with surprise, Paul throws himself to the floor. Suddenly, the room is screaming pandemonium as everyone tries to get away from the window. All the family scramble in different directions, running to the side and crawling along the floor. 3 more arrows fly into the room in quick succession as everyone flees. 2 of them hit the wall, and the third sticks into Drake's shoulder as he runs into the kitchen. He's the last to leave the dining room. Drake hits the entryway floor and skids across the linoleum. Everyone is suddenly quiet, staring around. Amy huddles on the entryway floor, shrieks.
What the fuck is happening?
Everyone is quiet for a moment in the darkness. Aubrey, somewhere in the front room, calls out.
911.
Everyone fumbles for their cell phone.
I don't have a signal.
Ashley, as the voice of 3 different women screaming in panic. Crispin squints down at his smartphone.
Me neither, but that's nothing new.
Felix is squinting at his cell phone. Behind him, in the entryway, Kelly is tending to the wounded Drake.
Nothing. Z, check your burner.
Z pulls out a disposable cell phone and checks it. No signal.
Nobody has anything?
I had a full signal earlier today. How's this possible?
They must be using a jammer.
What?
A cell phone blocker. They're illegal, but you can get battery-powered one off the internet for about $30. Usually the portable ones have a maximum range of a few hundred feet.
Everyone looks outside. Nothing is visible through the window. It is quiet all down the dark street.
I don't think we should go out there.
If it's some signal-blocking device, all we'd have to do is make it down the road.
You don't know that. A tower could be down in this area or something. That happens. We're not even sure what's going on. Maybe it's just some accident.
Paul looks at Aubrey. She's quiet.
We parked in the driveway. We're blocking you in, but it's not that far.
Tariq has the keys.
Everyone looks down at Tariq's corpse. Crispin clears his throat.
We're not blocked in. The drive's not far. I think I could make it.
Aaron, sorry. I need a minute. Okay. Aaron looks outside. Nothing is visible.
Why would anyone do this?
Oh, that's the end of page 30. Are we?
Yep,
Is that
that
it?
was it. That was it.
All right. Awesome.
That was
That's
Shit.
it.
I don't know the setup for this, but that comes out of the blue.
Oh, have you not seen this movie, Graham?
No.
Oh.
it is?
It's one of the reasons I picked it, because I knew someone hasn't seen it. So, yeah.
Well, Graham, we'll definitely have to show you this one. It's a worthwhile watch.
No, yeah, it's definitely on my watch list. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I think you guys were talking about it like last week or something like that.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
a perfect
it was
Halloween
one of them.
movie. All right. Well, what stood out to everybody? Anything?
I think the script is fairly clean and straightforward, you know? Like,
Yeah.
hey, there's dialogue and there's action. There's nothing really, I don't want to say stand out, but it's an easy, like, read. There's nothing too crazy like what we've seen before. So I think this one follows just kind of like the standard procedure when it comes to script writing. That's how I see it, at least.
Yeah.
There's no pizzazz. Where's the ambiance?
I mean, I like the descriptive nature of the part where Tariq gets hit with the arrow and just like the pacing of that.
That's true. It does give us a little bit on Tariq, like getting hit and then him stepping away and he's facing the family and the arrow's in his head and he's like gonna try to touch
He's
it.
trying to touch it.
And the little detail that he hits the kitchen table, the arrow just drives further into his brain. So, ooh, graphic.
Like, honestly, I don't even remember that part, but I feel like in the script it does kind of break up. Like, there's a lot of talking going on,
Right.
and then obviously there's a lot of panic right after that, but it's like this very slow, drawn out moment, the way that it's written.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, just to gauge, is Graham the only one who hasn't seen this?
Yeah, Nira, I'm pretty sure you made me and Ashley watch this with you.
I thought the three of us saw it together at Matt's parents' house.
I think so.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true.
Yeah. That was before Graham's time. Sorry, Graham, we didn't know you then.
That's all right. You should have called though.
My bad.
We should have found him, tracked him down years before we even knew him.
Graham, you don't know us yet, but you have to watch this movie.
Yeah, once we get that hot tub time machine going, Graham will be there.
Sick. Sounds
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Why is that your go-to time traveling device?
I mean,
Why
it sounds
not?
the most comfortable version, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know what? You're right.
I mean, would you rather a hot tub or a phone booth?
Or a car that barely works.
That too. Actually, yeah, that was
Right.
that was.
I don't
want to
get
of
stuck in
course.
the past.
You know what? You're right. You're right. Hot tub is definitely the best medium of time travel, if it works, because they have problems making it work too. So anyway, the script is clean.
Yeah.
I think it's clean.
Yeah, Graham being, oh, sorry. I was going to say being someone who doesn't know the plot, like, were you able to follow all the characters shifting back and forth and everything like that?
I mean, there are a lot of characters. I think once like shit started to go down, it got a little more confusing. But at the beginning, I don't know how important all that dialogue is. Like with Felix being a film or Tariq being a filmmaker, like I don't know how important that is to the story.
Well,
But
considering
I mean,
he's dead by the end of this scene, it's not that important.
right.
And also, like, in the beginning of the script, it gives you a sense, like, oh, there's also a really good part. But hold on, let me finish my thought real quick. It gives you in the beginning of the script, it kind of gives you a good description of who's actually family and who are the guests. So there's that separation, and then when they go into prayer, there's also a separation there of like who doesn't bow their heads, and I think someone like rolls his eyes or whatever. So I think that's just minor details that are pretty cool. Like, yeah, it says Crispin, Aaron, Felix, Z keep their heads upright. Felix and Crispin exchange a look. Crispin grimaces. Felix rolls his eyes. Yeah, so I like there's definitely that sense of separation between the family, but I'm not sure if anyone else caught that. I don't. I just liked it.
Who all dies in this scene?
Just one
Just
guy,
Drake.
and another guy gets shot in the arm. Like, I think
Okay.
Drake got shot in the shoulder. Yeah, I'm with you, Nero. Like, it does a really good job of separating out, like, hey, these are the people who are among the family, these are the people who are separate, and more importantly, these are the people who kind of play into the dad's religious elements, and the people who are, you know, obviously have some sort of defiance of that for whatever reason.
Yeah, and poor Tariq looks like he's lost, and he just does it. Like Tariq looks around and does the same. Like, so I guess that's just. I feel like that's like minor description that like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
I don't know if anyone here is like, okay, this is tough. Does anyone here have religious relatives who like pray before meals besides me?
I mean, I do.
No, but I've been to friends' houses. I don't know if that's like
Right. Like, I feel like giving your atheist and agnostic friends a heads up before dinner is always like a courtesy. Like, hey, just so you know, when we get there, they're going to pray at dinner.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been warned. I just go with the flow. That's all right.
Yeah,
I think like you're right, Grant. Like my parents, they don't warn anybody, and my like relatives don't. But my partner's like parents, Claire's parents, they warn, which is kind of nice.
Mhm.
They're like, oh,
like,
hey,
hey,
so
we're gonna pray, but you don't
Yeah.
have to.
yeah, exactly, and that's nice. No, it is a courtesy. That is a nice courtesy. That's respecting other people's whatever, right?
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
whatever.
other people's whatever. Yeah.
They're whatever. Their choices and whether or not they choose to pray or not. Yeah, I hear you. Before we hop into the scene, I was just going to see, since Graham hasn't seen it, if he got any specific vibes about the individual characters just based on what he's read so far.
I was definitely gonna ask the same thing.
I mean, with the short amount of script, it's hard for me to tell like who's the main character and like who we're following. I don't know.
Well, between the two characters you were reading for, do you have like a sense of like animosity or anything?
Crispin kind of seemed on edge, but then
Yeah,
Drake seemed to be asking a lot of questions. So, hmm.
Do you have those dinners like that? Anybody like have that dinner where a relative keeps asking questions and you're like,
that's a tough
oh,
question because
uncomfortable?
I'm the relative who asks too many questions, so I really don't know
That's
how to answer that.
you. You should have been reading for Drake.
Right. Like, but here's the deal: is this is how it works. Like, I just got back from a vacation. It was me and my fiance were staying with my grandparents, up in Sholo, and while we were visiting them, like what I did is the first night I asked them a bunch of questions about their life, and I let them just talk and tell us plenty of stories, and then the rest of the entire weekend was so quiet because you get all of the conversation out at the beginning and you make it all about them, and then you get to just enjoy the peacefulness the rest of the time.
That's some Alyssa advice, some tips on family functions.
Pro tip for surviving weekend with the family. I don't know. I mean, I get the vibe from this family that obviously there's some political and religious differences and just lifestyle differences among them that create tension between them. Like, I know that at one point someone asked, like when they're talking to that filmmaker, they ask about the commercial thing, and then the girlfriend gets a little defensive about that. I think Amy, which is really funny coming from people who work at a company where we make commercial video. So it's nice seeing someone get so sassy about their art.
Yeah, because, that never happens to us, right, Nero? So should we start this clip?
Yep, let's hop into it.
This podcast is brought to you by Arizona Studios. Arizona Studios, a full-service video content specialist. We're here to illuminate your message and compel your audience to take the right action. For more information, head to our website at arizonastudios.com and be sure to tune in for more content on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Man,
Cool.
Drake seems a lot more evil in this.
Kind of a dick, huh?
Absolutely.
Kind of.
And how did he not die with that arrow in his back? Jeez.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah,
I mean, not that I know anything.
Right.
Yeah, don't say much more, Nero.
I don't think it would have hit any vitals from where it was at. It looks like it probably got mostly like muscle.
Well, his spine, though, I feel like something could have happened.
It wasn't that close to his spine. It was his shoulder, wasn't it?
Well, in the script it was shoulder, but in the clip it looked like it was in the middle of his back.
Yeah.
It
Like
definitely
at the
does
top
look
part of
like
his back.
it is. Yeah, it's like if it missed his spine, it wasn't by much.
Right, yeah.
Oh well.
A lot more. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna just entice everyone to say things first.
I was gonna say, like the dialogue felt more like a couple of just extra lines of dialogue that made it sound more like more people kind of agreeing with Drake and like saying like, oh yeah, well commercials are my favorite part. That's the reason why I watch TV. And it's like I don't remember that being a part of it.
Right. It definitely wasn't in the script. I think that's Drake's wife in
Okay.
in the clip, but
I think her name's like Kelly or something. She didn't originally have like hardly any lines.
Any lines, yeah. So it's like, was that just to create a little bit more like uneasiness for Tyreek, maybe?
Right.
Because by the end of that scene, he's like kind of ashamed that.
Right.
That,
I think
Drake's
character. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Keep going.
I was just gonna say, I think Drake's character in general is like way more deeply developed in the dialogue in this scene than he was in the script.
Mhm.
I kind of wonder if that was just an approach they took when they were on set to kind of start like pushing the actor to ask his initial question, which is like, "What do you do, Tariq?" And then he was allowed to be he was allowed to keep pushing, and he probably knows, like, as the actor or maybe even the director kind of told him to do it, like, while on set, to like say something that would piss off a filmmaker, because like, commercials, I think that's the height of the art form, that seems too specific to be like too specific to say, to like piss off some artsy filmmaker who's like into documentary work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's what it was like on set.
Even like the conflict later between Drake and Crispin is better. Like, Drake flat out calls Crispin out. Like, you've always been jealous of me. Like, that is the most direct line in this scene, and it is also like the script feels like it's very surface level, which I get. Like, when a lot of confrontation with family is surface level, like, I'm not going to say what I'm really thinking. I'm just going to say a prettier version of what I'm really thinking, because I don't want to have the full-blown conflict. But I think Crispin takes it to that place when he confronts Drake for even making a statement about his relationship being unprofessional, even though he does it in like this really, which isn't in the script. Like, in the script, it seems like they're just having a conversation, and Crispin does kind of outright say something to agree, but then in the scene, he whispers it, like hush, as if we know. He's intentionally saying it to spite Crispin, but not with the intention that it will start an outright conflict. And then when it does, he has to win. Like, he has to say the hardest, meanest thing he can to his brother, because he can't let him win.
Right. And Drake also kind of has like that, in terms of cinematography and like how the shots are done in this scene. It's like there was a moment where the camera was just on Drake looking at Crispin and Aaron, and it looks like it's like target sighted, like, I'm gonna start shit here now. Like, after I'm done with Tariq, I'm now like aiming at my brother, who's, it looks like Crispin and Aaron, the couple, they're like having fun, like they're to themselves, like drinking wine.
They're like
stuff.
Flirting.
Yeah.
I think that was cool though, because it feels like you can, which is funny because Drake even says, like, you've always been jealous of me to Crispin, and I think that it's him, like, reflecting his own feelings. Like, I think that he has this very, I mean, as you watch the movie, like, he has a cut and dry marriage and life, and his brother is out there, like, having this, very sexy and, provocative affair with a very attractive woman, and they're very happy and cutesy and flirty. And I think there's like definitely seems to be this tone of Drake just wanting to defile his happiness so that he can feel superior.
Yeah, he's definitely like trying to get them big energy vibes, with the family, like when he like adds to his father's prayer. I thought that was like, ew, he's one of those.
Yeah, that wasn't in the script either, and I thought it was a great addition, just him hopping in at the end and then, like, being a real brown-noser to the parents.
Oh, we love you, Mommy. Ugh.
Any other standout characters for you guys? Ashley and Graham, you haven't talked that much.
It's been a while since I've seen this movie. I know I've said that a handful of times already, but I wouldn't mind rewatching this again. It's not a scary movie per se. It's like it's a thriller. I would more categorize it as. So it's like something I can tolerate watching multiple times. So I completely forgot, like, I was reminded of who the main character is. I'm not gonna like say who, but I just got excited to, like, oh yeah, I remember this happening, and I remember the end, and it's like, yeah, okay, this is a good movie in my opinion.
Oh, you know what? Kind of like from what you were saying, like remembering who the main character is, and also when going back into script, I think Graham said he's not sure who the main character is.
That's intentional.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Well, Graham, after seeing the scene, do you have a better sense of who the main character is? Because there's like one thing that I saw that maybe can kind of contribute to it.
May have to watch it again, but like from this scene specifically, Drake's definitely like the star, but I'm not sure if he's the main character of the entire movie. I mean, I'd have to go with him or Caspian or what was his name?
Crispin.
Crispin.
Well, in the script, it's like spelt weird, Crispian or something like that. There's like an extra I that shouldn't be in
Crispin.
there.
Crispy.
So those are my guesses, but I could be completely wrong. That's just kind of what I got from this scene.
So real quick, during this scene, Graham, did you feel that anyone in this room reacted differently than the rest of the group?
I mean, Tariq went to the window.
I guess after Tariq got shot.
I think this is one of those movies where it is like you catch more things when you rewatch it, and the first time around, it's done well enough that you don't. It throws you some smoke, you know, like they're definitely making sure that a first-time watcher won't piece things together too quickly.
That's kind of cool, though. It's a cool concept.
Yeah, it's a good film. I think when you watch it, too, you get a lot more out of it when you get further into the story than...
Yeah.
This scene is still at a point where it's intentionally designed so that you don't know who the main character really is yet.
But I like how much more intense this is with Drake questioning. It seems like it really builds up tension to Tariq getting shot. And then obviously Tariq's going to get upset about saying that he should do commercials because he's wearing a scarf. Come on, he's obviously like a very artsy person.
The word you're looking for is pretentious.
Yeah.
It's true. Oh my God, when he says like underground film festival, what's that? Like, do they show films underground? Like, you're pushing buttons.
Yeah.
Don't be stupid. Drake.
All right, well, we're getting toward the end of this podcast. Does anyone have any closing remarks about the difference between the scene in the script or the actual filming?
I got one. It's the characters Z and Felix, like only because I remember who they are in the movie, but like for the scene itself, I feel like they're painted a little bit better, like than the script. Like during the little prayer thing, I think Z was like chewing gum, so you definitely know she's like not into it. And then I like the bit of dialogue between Felix when he's like talking about phone jammers or cell phone blockers or whatever, and then Drake's like, you low life. So it seems like he is like the black sheep of the family.
Yeah,
so
what I like about that is... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go.
In the original script, and no one points it out, like in the original script, Felix turns to, when they can't get their phones to work, he turns to Z and he's like, use your burner phone, and no one says anything about it. And I'm like, that's super sketch though, right? Like who has a burner phone and then who calls it out in front of your entire family?
Yeah.
Wait, you don't carry a burner on you? Keep that thing on me.
If I did, I wouldn't advertise it.
It's true. So maybe that was just a change to make it more, I don't know, subtle in the scene rather than in the script, like straight up saying it.
I think so, and I think that like even the act, and it could be the actors or the director, but I feel like the characters are more direct with each other than they are in the script, and it feels more like a real family.
So what you're saying is 0.1 to actual scene versus script. I'm gonna start keeping points now.
I think the script's still good. I definitely think the scene accomplishes, like, I just think that there's always at least someone in the family who's bold enough to say outright what they're thinking about everybody. And I think in this case it's Drake. Anyone got any other closing remarks before we close out?
I had one quick thing. In the script, it felt like we looked at Tariq a little bit more, like we were seeing more of him when he had the arrow in his forehead, but then in the scene, like we don't actually see it until someone when Drake reacts and then everyone else reacts, and then all of a sudden, like we just see him like fall on the floor, and we don't even really see what is happening. We see the arrow, but we don't really see exactly what it is that is happening until he falls on the floor, and it's like, oh shit, he just got a fucking arrow through his forehead, and then everyone starts freaking out. So
did you like it better or worse?
I don't know. I think I liked it a little bit better because it's like it kind of made it feel like it wasn't a big deal, but it was. Sorry, the scene, the movie. was a little bit better, I think, in my opinion, because it's like no one was paying attention, and then all of a sudden people are paying attention, and it's like, yeah, this is a big deal. You should be paying attention to this. But they kind of like shrug it off a little. Like they don't really react right away. I don't know. It's so, what's the word?
Well, I think they're all in shock, right?
Well, yeah, like Drake is definitely in shock because he sees him with an arrow, but then like there's still people that are like conversing and talking, and then Tariq is like he's making noises, and then finally that's when like I think that's when Aaron turns around, and then that's when he falls, and
well,
it's
I
like,
think, and I could be wrong, but I think that Aaron actually notices it first because they're all arguing so loudly that no one hears the glass shatter when the arrow goes through. But we as the audience see that it happened. We just don't see Tariq with the arrow in his head yet, but we do see that he's looking out the window, and then we see the glass shatter, and we see Aaron look around as if she's heard something.
Right, but she didn't actually see him until everyone else, until a couple of other people like are noticeably looking over her shoulder, and that's when she turns around, and then we see him. But I mean, either way, it's like, yes, she did notice something and realize something's up, and then, oh hey, this guy's dead.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that the scene does it better, and you stay with the family, which makes more sense because they're really, they're the focus and not this random guest dude who's not really that committed to them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, lastly, who is the main character?
No, wait, hold on.
No.
You should watch it.
We're not going to tell you.
You need to watch it.
You need to watch it, Graham.
Alrighty.
More incentive to watch it.
More incentive for sure. Watch it ASAP. All right, well guys, this is your next on New Script on the Block. Thank you so much for listening. Again, be sure to leave us a comment. Let us know what your favorite scene from your next was. If you haven't watched it, we highly recommend. Let us know what other scripts from horror films you'd like to hear on the show. And you can comment at us on YouTube or SoundCloud. Feel free to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Let us know how we're doing, what segments you like the best, what you don't like, and we'll be sure to bring you some more great content in the coming weeks. So tune in next week. Thank you for listening. And you'll hear us next time. Sorry.